We have become a people who no longer recognize our true story, a nation eating itself from the inside. We deny everything that has shaped our identity. It is deeply troubling that we've turned strangers to one another, constantly competing, constantly trying to outshine one another, rather than uplift each other. Our forefathers gave us powerful histories, forged through blood, vision, and strategy. And yet today, we discard them in favor of alternative narratives that seek to silence the truth. What are we really chasing? What is so valuable that we are willing to erase our bloodline, to lose affection for our brothers and sisters? Where are the real men, the brave ones, who are not afraid to tell the truth regardless of how uncomfortable it may be? It is time to resist being manipulated into rewriting our history just because we fear losing favor, status, or support. Let us stand firm in the truth. Some have gone so far as to deny that the great wars of upheaval in the 18th and 19th centuries, the Mfecane, ever took place. They say it is all a myth created by the colonial powers. But if this is true, then why does our land bear the footprints of that history? To deny the Mfecane is to deny the very existence of the great leaders and nations that emerged from it. Are we to believe that Shaka of Senzangakona, the architect of the Zulu nation, was just a fable? That King Zwide of the Ndwandwe was never real? That Dingiswayo, the visionary of the Mtetwa, is merely a creation of colonial fantasy? If we accept that the Mfecane never occurred, then we must also deny the reality of Mzilikatsi's Ndebele in Zimbabwe, Zwangandaba's Ngoni in Malawi and Zambia, Sebetwanea's Kololo in Zambia, and the Amashangane of Soshangane in Mozambique and Limpopo. We must then deny that Moshoeshoe Basotho rose from the gathering of displaced tribes, seeking refuge and strength against the tides of violence and instability. All of this would vanish in a single stroke if we accepted that the Mfecane was a myth. The truth is far more complex and rooted in a deeper historical continuum. The tribes and clans of southern Africa did not emerge in isolation. They were heirs to great empires, Mapungubwe, Great Zimbabwe, Mwenemutapa, and Tagwa, civilizations that once held together entire regions, bringing unity, commerce, and power. But the harmony of those empires began to disintegrate, not only because of internal conflicts, but because of the deliberate interference by colonial agents, especially the Portuguese and later Dutch and British. The rise of coastal colonies and their growing power caused fractures among the local leadership. Some chiefs cooperated with the newcomers, driven by greed or desperation. Others resisted but lacked unity. Look at the Kingdom of Congo, Great Zimbabwe, and Mwenemutapa, once proud centers of African power. They all fell, weakened by internal strife and fractured by European interference. Changamire Dombo, for example, fought to expel the Portuguese and reunify a crumbling empire, forming the Rozvi state. Yet even his efforts could not fully restore what was lost. As the ancient empires fell, the land was left with independent clans, each headed by a prince of the old kingdoms. These tribes, though noble, were vulnerable. Disunity made them easy targets for colonial expansion. And thus, a mission began, a mission to restore power and unity under paramount leadership. King Zwide of the Ndwandwe began this movement, followed by King Dingiswayo of the Mtetwa. They were not just warlords, they were nation builders. They sought to bring together fragmented clans under stronger, united kingdoms. Then came Shaka, a military strategist and a statesman who transformed this mission into a movement. Under his leadership, the Zulu emerged not only as a military power, but as a nation with a shared identity and destiny. Around them rose other powerful groups. The Amangwane under Madiwane, the Amahlubi under Mtimkalu, the Amaswati under Ndungunya, and later Mswati II. The upheaval was not chaos, it was transformation. Some tribes resisted incorporation, others fled or were absorbed. The Mfecane was about survival, unification, and state formation. What began as a strategy to consolidate the fragmented remains of once glorious empires was misunderstood by many. Some leaders did not want to give up their local authority. Others failed to see the urgency of unity. And so wars broke out, not out of wanton aggression, but out of conflicting visions for survival. It was either unity or death. And when unity was rejected, the sword became the decider. This is why today we have so many nations: Zulu, Ndebele, Zwide, Basotho, Shaka, and Ngoni. Each one a byproduct of this era of transformation and migration. The Mfecane reshaped the entire southern African landscape. To call it a myth is to erase an entire generation of changemakers, to dismiss the pain and purpose that built today's identities. The struggle of the Mfecane era did not end with its warriors. Its mission is still unfulfilled. Today we still see the consequences of disunity. Chiefs leading divided peoples. Ethnic rivalries. Tribal suspicions. Power games. Our enemies did not defeat us because they were stronger. They succeeded because we were divided. The colonial powers used betrayal, deception, and exploitation. They capitalized on our internal strife. We failed to unite, and so the dream of one powerful Southern African kingdom was lost. The lesson? Unity is strength. Division is death. History has a way of repeating itself. And unless we learn, we are bound to fall again. It is time to stop running away from our history. It is time to speak the truth, even when it is difficult. It is time to honor the blood of those who tried to bring us together. Let no one rewrite our story for their comfort. Let no one tell us that the nations we see today formed in a vacuum. These nations are not myths. They are the result of strategy, war, vision, and sacrifice. Let us study the truth. Let us tell it. Let us honor it. And let us use it to build the future. The Mfecane was real. Its scars remain. Its fruits remain. And its wisdom remains for those willing to learn. We were meant to be one people. Let us remember. Let us unite. Let us rebuild what was broken. Thank you for watching. If you found this narration valuable, please share it. Let the truth echo.